Hey guys, welcome to another journal vlog, and today I continue with my project of finishing and filming all of these tasks that needs to happen. Most of these have something to do with reading and reading journal, and today's task is no different. I went over the whole list in the last week's journal vlog, so I am not going over it again, and I am just going to pick what we will work on today, and that is setting up the reading challenges. There is one that will take me, I'd say, many years to finish, so we'll start with that one. And then there are 3 more reading challenges I want to join, so we will set up pages for those. Let's open my reading challenges journal. As the title suggests, this is the journal that I will have all of my reading challenges in. In the beginning of this journal, there is my Read Around the World challenge. That one is already fully set up and the video is already on my channel. And now I am going to set up, as I said, another challenge that will take many years. And I will give you a hint. Well, you might already know from the title of the video, but I want to show you all of these beautiful illustrations, and I am sure by now you know what this challenge is. And yes, that is Discworld reading challenge. I don't know if that is a popular challenge or not. I don't really care. Last year I decided I want to read all Discworld novels, and I had no way of tracking what I have already read. So setting up this reading challenge journal was kind of a high priority for this year. I am going to start with this illustration. All of these illustrations are, as you can see by the watermark, by Josh Kirby. And I don't mind watermarks being there. I am happy to be reminded who the illustrator was. And these are my favorite illustrations. They are just so whimsical and iconic, and there is so much detail. I can spend a lot of time looking at this, and I always find something new, something fun. So yeah, this is what I am working with today. This, I believe, is the backside of the Eric book. I own a few of these books, so this is the cover page, and yeah, pretty much this is the back illustration. All of the illustrations I printed and I found them on the Josh Kirby website. I had very hard time deciding which one to use as the cover page, and eventually I decided on this one simply because of this section that I can use and put at the side of this journal, and this section I want to put there. That's the only reason I chose this illustration for that. Also, it is amazing and I really like the colors. Let's start and take this. So, yeah. I want to include as much of this illustration as possible, but I will have to cut some of this top section because this is printed slightly larger. I am going to tear off this white space, and I want to have the tiered edge in here as well, and let's simply glue it on the page. As you can see from some of the pencil marks, I was already planning how to set up these pages, and I will tell you one thing. Even when I spend a lot of time with planning all of these pages, it always ends up looking totally different than what I imagined. So this time I did print the pictures I have shown you, and I prepared all of the book covers, and that's basically everything I did. So I will figure all of this stuff while working on these pages. I love how this almost matches the size of this edge. I should probably cut this off, and I got some glue on my fingers already. Okay, I have the title prepared. This is printed on clear sticker paper, so it will be brighter when I put it on the page. Okay, let's now see where I want this title to be. Maybe in here. I want to avoid going across 2 pages, but maybe I will need to, I don't know, something like this, or let's move it to the side. I want to have some more decoration around the page when the title is so close together in the middle, but spreading this too much might look silly, so I think I will do something like this. Let's just do that. Okay, I should stop overthinking things so much. Reading. I could just put in the whole world, but what often happens is that the paper or sticker bunches up in the middle, and then it does not really hold and it looks so silly. So everything that I put across 2 pages, I prefer to cut it in sections. Let's see what I could add to make it more fully, especially in this section and maybe here. Guys, you know, I don't like to have blank space in my journals. So let's see my reusable sticker album. Oh, maybe these. They have very similar texture to the illustration, so that might work. Right. So somewhere here, and the second parchment or whatever that is, let's put it like this. Maybe this key as well up there. I like that. Okay, that was maybe everything from this album, but let's also look at these butterflies. I think there definitely will be some that match the colors. Yeah, so maybe this one or this yellow one. Let's use this one first. Here, and a smaller orange one. Let's have it there. One in here as well. I found one more and it is so tiny and I feel like it would look good here. I will leave it as it is for now, and I might come back to this cover page later because I could stand here for hours and do not come up with anything new. So let's just flip to the next page, and here is where all of the book covers will be. First, what I would like to do is include some of these illustrations. So maybe let's start with this one. This is from the Color of Magic. Oh, and I have that one as well. That was so not planned. My printout has slightly different colors. I don't know why that is. It might be my printer, it might be my paper, it might be their editing, who knows. But I like both versions. I am thinking maybe tearing along this line somewhere here, and then I can use this section on some other spread. So let's do that. I am doing my best to not cut off any of the characters, and it seems I was successful. I never know what to do with decoration when it is so big but also does not reach the full edge of the page. I have also prepared some stationery. I just took out all the washi tapes that had similar colors to these illustrations. Planning, as I said, is one thing, but working on the page is totally different experience. And nothing usually works out the way I want it to. Let's see this. I think it looks nice to have this brick design along the bottom, on the top as well. Okay, let's do that because I don't really have any other ideas. Now I need to cut this in roughly half. That might look nice. Yeah, let's go with this. I will glue in this illustration first, and I'm going to cut this in sections, especially because this paper is quite thick, so it would bunch up 100%. I often feel like I'm using maybe way too much glue on my pages, but believe me guys, often it is not enough because what I put on the page does not always stay there, so it is fun. Okay, and now this little piece. I do not like having this white section in the middle, but it is way better than having this being kind of bunched up, as I said already. Okay, now let's try and unpeel the backing. I don't enjoy washi tapes with backing because it takes me forever to unpeel that. There is a bit of white showing, but there is nothing I can do with it now, and I don't really fancy unpeeling this, so it will stay like that. And now the top section. I am not sure how much space I need on the page, so we'll see how that will go, but I was trying to use a narrow section of the tape to not take up a lot of space. Now I will cut this tape in the middle as well. I have to be very careful with this because in my 2026 reading journal I feel like I cut through some thread, so I already had to use quite a lot of tape to keep it together. Now the cover pages. As you can probably tell, they are not the color they should be. And that's because I edited them to be, this is like 90% black and white. I could have made this 100% black and white, but I don't know, I just felt like not doing that. My plan is to put down cover page of every Discworld book, and once I read that, I will then cover it up with colorful version, just as I did for my 26 in 2026 reading challenge spread. That way it is very easy to see which books are already read. There are few that are colorful, and that's because I have read them in 2025. So I decided to count those towards this challenge, because I have read maybe, I think it was 13 books in like 5 or 6 years ago, and I'm not going to count those in this challenge because I would like to reread them. So I will count only books read from 2025 onwards. Also, these are already sorted by the date of publication, so I made that slightly easier on myself. And I am planning on maybe reading them in order of publication, but when I will feel like I want to continue with certain characters, I will then skip to that book. But as you can see, I have read like Small Gods, and that's, I don't know, book 11 or something. So yeah, it does not have any rhyme or reason. But putting books in here in order of publication seems like a good choice, so I did that. When I was lightly planning this, I was able to fit 5 books in here. Maybe we could fit in one in here as well, and then another 5 here. But before I glue this on the page, I need to write down their titles. And because I will be reading this in either English or Czech language, I want to have here both English and Czech title, and that's solely for fun. I might highlight the title based on the edition of the book I was reading, so I might highlight the English title when I read the English version. I have no idea, but that crossed my mind. This is not as thought through as I thought it was, but whatever. I am so excited. I am finally working on this challenge in my journal. All of this stuff will get figured out later. I won't make you watch me write all of these titles in. I will show you just a few from the beginning. So the first one is The Color of Magic, and that's called barva kozel in Czech. So let's write that down. Okay, how do I want the spacing to be? Maybe 2 boxes between each book? That seems right. Okay, so let's just write barva kozel. Okay, that is absolutely awful writing. Well, there's nothing I can do with that. So let's write down the English title, Color of Magic. Yeah, this is so rough. I have no idea what I'm doing. My initial idea was to have 2 rows for each of the titles, but this looks silly. So I'm going to cover that with a piece of sticker paper. And I'm going to write the title again. Okay, that's done, and seeing this, I feel like I will go ahead with coloring in the version I was reading, just to make this more separate, if that makes sense. Now let's add the cover. Now star rating, because why not? And one more thing I want to track with this challenge is if I already own this book. My dream is to have the full Discworld collection in the Czech language and in the original covers. So in these ones from Josh Kirby. The later books do not have his illustrations because he sadly passed away in 2001. And I don't really like those other covers, but this is not about me. They chose what they chose, but I would still like to collect all of these books. I will add maybe like a checkbox in here, and I will write own. Yeah, that might work. I initially wanted to put in here another check mark for red, but that seems unnecessary since I will put in the colorful cover. I really hope the rest will go smoother than the first book cover, because yeah, that was rough. But as I said, this was not really pre-planned, except printing all of these illustrations out. Also, some of these titles, well, most of them are directly translated to Czech language, but some of them are very whimsical, I would say. You might be asking, like, those of you who have watched this channel for a while, you might know that I am from Slovakia, so you might be asking, why are you not reading this in Slovak language? Because yeah, there are Slovak versions of these books, but let me just tell you, Czech translations in the Discworld series are so much better. Czech language is so much more expressive, and translating especially Terry Pratchett's books into Slovak language that's a tough job, because yeah, we don't have that many words, even when we know that Slovak language is very difficult for foreigners to learn, but we do not have that many words. So that's why I'm going with Czech translations, and everybody I know prefers Czech ones. So yeah, that's the reasoning behind this, but as I said, I might read English versions as well, and that's mostly because, okay, I should have put this a bit higher, but that's fine. That's mostly because audiobooks in English are so much easier to find, so I feel like audiobooks will be English and physical books will be in Czech. You'll see. I for now have absolutely no idea, so that's fun. Okay, now I will add the second row of books in here. Okay, will I fit everything in here? Maybe. Okay, let's try and add the star rating. Okay, I can just fit the own checkmark in here. The first colorful book cover, that's for Eric, and as I said, I have read that in 2025, and this was an audiobook, so it was in English. I can fit one more. This is just a regular printer paper, so if needed I can write over that. And there is nothing important in this section of the picture, so it should work out. Boxes. I have no idea if this ruler is still available, and the only part of this roller I use is this box. But this is from Archer and Olive, and I got this in, it was one of their very first subscription boxes. So I don't think it is available anymore, but I feel like there were other versions of this roller available on their website. The only thing missing now are the titles, and I don't really know what more to talk about, to be honest. This might look silly, but I just put Mort and Mort in there because why not? This is Czech and this is English, and it looks the same, which I think is maybe the only book. Well, I think Eric will be the same. It is silly and I am happy with that. Also, some of these translations are slightly different from what the English says, and without me doing this, like writing both English and Czech title next to each other, I would never notice. The first page is done. I so adore how this looks. Okay, let's flip to the next page and let's work on the rest of this challenge. From now on, I will work on all the decorations first, and then I will add all the book covers. So based on this spread, I was able to fit in here 11 book covers. So I might need to decorate maybe 2 or 3 more pages, depending on how much decoration I put there. Let's start with this. I adore both of these sections, and I think I will go with this one. Maybe we can have this one on the next page, or I would really like to use these witches. This is just so fun. Let's start tearing these. This time I am planning on using this washi tape. It is absolutely beautiful and I think it works very well with this illustration. I will use this on top and bottom of the page, just as I used this brick PET tape on the previous page. One of the reasons I decided to decorate this side right now is because there is some slight warping from the illustration I glued on the previous page. So this way it won't be that visible. There is this watermark visible and another watermark as well. As I said, I don't really mind. I like that there is author mentioned on the picture. This washi tape is from Notebook Therapy and I got it secondhand, and it is kind of escaping from the tube, but I can work with that. I hope there will be enough space for all the book covers. This is for some reason quite fiddly. I keep putting this tape over the edge. I don't want the top section to get cut off. I adore how this tape looks. And I like that there are some blue sections, so it very low-key matches with this illustration. Let's continue on the bottom edge. I am so happy with this. I started to use these rubber bands to put especially around the washi tapes and PET tapes that have backing, and this is life-changing because I don't have to unpeel all of these ending tapes and all that stuff, and this just holds very nicely. I really like that hack. Now let's decorate another page. I will use this illustration, so this will be slightly longer. I don't really have any yellow stationery I could use in here. I can maybe use this green checkered one. This one is by Mellow Days. It is one of the newest washi tapes I got, so it is not even unpacked yet. Okay, I also have a lighter version, but that might not work. And I also have this. This might be nice to add, but maybe this is too narrow. So what if I used something crazy? This is overly shiny, but I think I will go with this. Because why not? Why not? I like the combination of this illustration and this tape. Let's cut this. Oh, I did not do the best job with this, but that's fine. I'll have to go and cut this by hand. I could maybe go just straight across this tape, but there is quite a lot of empty space, or with just these small particles, and I'd rather be able to fit the book cover and all the information I want than have these speckles in there. I will of course try and link everything I'm using in the description below. So if there is something you would like to get yourself, just head into the description. I do my best to write everything down in the order it was used in my videos, so it makes it easier for you to look for certain stationery. Okay, I finally have this unpeeled. Okay, I can cover maybe 2 of these boxes, so I'll have to put this tape quite high, but that's fine. We'll still get lots of these cute designs. And this. Now to trim everything. It looks immediately so much better once you cut all of the overhanging sections. I again really like how this spread turned out. It's maybe way too shiny, but I really like it. With this done, I feel like I might want to add at least some part of this illustration, maybe like this. I don't think I can fit all the books on just 3 spreads, so I would need to make another one for maybe like 3 or 4 book covers. And I would rather decorate this page a bit more, so then the next spread won't be as decoration heavy. Okay, this should be fine. Maybe I could put this PET tape over the illustration if I manage to unpeel that. Okay. And for the last page, I will do this illustration because this is one of my favorites. So I'll put it like this, and maybe let's just tear this section off. So the illustration is contained on 1 page, and I will use the exact same PET tape as I did with the other part of this illustration, because I think those look really nice together. Okay, and now for this tape. Oh, I love how we ended and started with the full illustration. That's so amazing. I don't know why that did not happen on the previous page. If I counted correctly, I should be able to fit in all 41 books. So now let's add all the remaining book covers. I was thinking I could maybe tell you some of the translations that we have, because sometimes they are the same and sometimes they are slightly different. So I don't know if that is interesting to you, but you'll have to listen to me. The Witches Abroad. It is very interesting because in Czech it's called Čarodějky na cestách, and that means witches traveling, or yeah, I guess witches traveling or witches on the road. So it has similar meaning, but it's not always exactly the same. Oh, I put the wrong book cover in there. So this is Lords and Ladies. Then, okay, it seems these are slightly mixed up, but it's fine because I already have all the titles written in here. So Muži ve zbraní, that's Men at Arms. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Oh, now we have the Small Gods, and I have read this one already, so that's why it is colorful. Now, soul music, that's so hard to translate, really hard to translate. And the Czech version is called Těžké melodično, and I love this title. I don't know why, I just love how it sounds. So I guess they did a good job with that title. Then Interesting Times, it's translated exactly as it is in English. Masquerada or Masquerade, yeah, that's the same. Hogfather, yeah, I adore this book cover so much. This is so interesting. So, Jingo. I have no idea what Jingo means. And Czech title is her, I can't say long R, so it's her, long R, Hrnanie. And it means like come at them or something similar. So yeah, what I have discovered is that the Czech translations, the translators are doing very good job in telling us what the books are about, even when it is maybe not exactly the same translation. I really like how this looks, and even this PET tape, it works so well with all of these discolored book covers. Yeah, I am so happy with how this looks. Oh, this is very yellow. Okay, so next is Pravda, or the truth. Yeah. Thief of Time. Yeah, that's translated exactly as Zloděj času. And the Last Hero, or Posledný hrdina. This is where the new style of book covers is introduced, and as I said, I am not a fan, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, this is very long title. The Amazing Morris and His Educated Rodents. I love this title so much. One of my friends said her favorite book is one with mice from Terry Pratchett, and that's not part of the Discworld, but I would love to read that one as well. In Czech it is Úžasný Moritz a jeho vzdělaní hlodavci, and that also sounds so good. Night Watch, or Noční hlídka. Yeah, I feel like I have read this, but I don't really remember, so I can't wait to read this again. Now, the We Free Men. What does we mean? Like, please tell me. And the Czech translation is Svobodný národ. It's like a free nation or something like that. Now this is the last page. So, Podivný regiment, or Monstrous regiment. Well, the translation is more like Strange regiment. I am more excited to read about Monstrous regiment than about Strange regiment. A Head Full of Sky, then Going Postal. I saw a movie, I think, and I have not read this book yet, and I also can't wait for that one to read. Then Tat, it's Buch in Czech, yeah. Next is Winter Smith. I don't know how I would translate that. In Czech, it's Zimoděj, which I also don't know meaning of. But based on the word structure, it works, because zima is winter, so I believe it is a very good translation. It's only my lack of Czech knowledge to not be able to translate that correctly. Okay, Making Money. Yeah, that's nadělat prachy. That works, but I think the Czech title is more expressive. Then Unseen Academicals. It's Nevídaní akademikové. Yeah, and I don't know, I get a different meaning from both of these titles. So I can't wait to read this book to see what title in which language I feel like works better for this book. Then we have I Shall Wear Midnight, Oblek nosí půlnoc. I really like this title. The next is Snuff. So that's like what? Like sniffing up your nostril or something like that. And in Czech it's called Schnupec. Yeah, that's interesting word. But I guess it means very similar things. Okay, then there is Raising Steam and Podparou. I am not sure because again, these titles make me think of different things. So it remains to be seen which one I like better after I read the book. Okay, and the last one is The Shepherd's Crown. All of the book covers are done, and I want to go through books I own and mark them in here because every time I want to buy a new Terry Pratchett book or Discworld book, I have to go to my bookshelf and see what I actually have. And this journal is usually closer to me than my bookshelf, so it will make it easier, I guess, for me to buy stuff. And I just buy these books in no particular order. It is based on which one is the cheapest at the time, because sometimes some of these go on sale, so I take advantage of that. There are also some books that are hard to get, especially in this style of book covers. So when I see those, I immediately get them because I know that maybe I would not be able to get hold of them any other time. So let's start. We have already seen this one. It's the same picture, and that's The Color of Magic, or Barva kouzel one. The next is Eric. We have seen this one as well, and I have read this in English, so I will color this in. It is not necessary, but I just feel like it will make this page more colorful and it will kind of break up some of these longer titles. Okay, this is the Hogfather, and this is kind of thick, and I had such a good time with this book, and I read that last year. I will have to go and look up all of my star ratings as well, so I will fill those in later. Now this is Feet of Clay, then the Light Fantastic, or Lehké fantastično. I love this title so much. Then I have the Masquerade. As you can see, there is no rhyme or reason to me buying these books. This one is also quite big. That's Hernanie, or the Jingo one. Okay, the Witches Abroad here. The Fifth Elephant, again, quite a long one. And the last one is Interesting Times. Yeah, that's here. Okay, so these are all the books I own, and I love that they look so similar to each other. Except this one. This, I don't know why they did not include the tall press sign, but I love to see this picture in there. So yeah, I am collecting all books from the same publisher, so they all look like this, and they look so amazing on my bookshelf. And when there will be 41 of those, well, that will, I'm sure, look absolutely amazing. I am not sure how the newer editions look with the new illustrator, but I will see that when I will get some of them. Okay, let's color this in as well. And yeah, this is it. This is my Discworld reading challenge setup, and I am quite happy with it. I was not sure what I was doing, but I am so excited. I was able to find all of these illustrations. That's really awesome. There are some white spaces. I currently am not sure what to do with those, so I will leave it like that. If I will have time and mental capacity to figure something out, I will do that, but not today because there is still so much more we need to work on. And the next thing is a Year of Goober, and as you can see, I have already written all of the prompts in here because you don't want to see me spend forever on writing all of these. But I have to say, I did a really good job with this, and I really like my writing in here. I very rarely use all capitals in my writing, so this is unusual, but I think it looks really nice. I have this big title prepared. I made this in Canvas. I just used one of the pictures and put title on that. And I also prepared these two. I did not think this through enough, it seems, because these are too big. I might put them here. Okay, that looks kind of okay. Also, I have this bookshelf. This one is a part of the challenge, so we got this and some other versions of this bakery. That's very nice. I just noticed there is one more thing I forgot to do, and that's to add dots in here. So when I finish a book, I will do a check mark in the dot. Oh, and it almost matches all of these, which is very nice. I did not expect that. And also, guys, I have these ghosties. They are adorable. These are straight printed from Canva. So this was there. This is the original Goober. The story of this is that this little ghosty, this is the Goober, and every year he is trying to learn something new. And this year he wants to open a bakery, but he realized he does not know how to bake. So he will spend the whole year trying to learn baking, different stuff. That's such a cute idea. I printed the original version and then another kind of flipped version. So I have a bigger one and a smaller one. And these two are also from Canva. How perfect is this one? Adorable. And I also found this little dessert. I'm not sure if I will use that because it does not have these black outlines, but we'll see. I will keep this on the side. And I also have these dumplings. It might not be like the perfect match for this page, but I have this, and these needs to be used. These are from the Sticky Club, and I have had these for years. So this is like a perfect opportunity to use these and to fill up this page, because this is a lot of space to be filled. For the pages not to be completely white, I'm going to use this map tape. It is not very on theme, I know, but it is brown, so it should match. And let's just say the micro bakery is so popular that Ghosty Goober is opening new stores all over the world. And then this tape will match. So yeah, I will go with that narrative. So let's just put it here. And let's go across both pages. And let's steer this, of course. This is where the writing ends, so I should steer from somewhere here. Okay, this should be fine. And I'm going to use the second half of this tape on the top of the page, just so it all matches, because I think that looks nice. I like to use the same tape on top and bottom of my spreads. The use of already teared off section of the tape is quite fiddly, because it very much likes to roll on itself, and then it is, as I said, very fiddly and very sticky. Okay, this should be fine. Oh, there is one more thing. I printed this 2026 to use somewhere on the page to indicate that this is for 2026. But then I have realized everything after this challenge will be for year 2026, and maybe I would like to have some kind of tab or something in here to know that this is where the yearly challenges start, and next year I will add another one and so on and so on. So I think that might be a good idea. And for that I was thinking to just use maybe a bit of paper. Oh, I do have a bit of sticky paper, so that might be easier to use. And maybe I will use only 26 because this seems too long, so I'm definitely not going to have it like this or like this. This seems too big as well, so maybe just 26 would be enough. And I feel like I'll have it like this. Yeah, I think that's a good way to go. What do I need to do? Yeah, I need to glue it on like this. Do I have a bigger piece of sticker paper? Yeah, I found something. So, okay, how do I do that? That will be like this. Okay, let's just place the number here. I actually have another one. This is slightly bigger. Maybe I could put it on the back side so I can see that from every page. Okay, and I'd like to have a bit of a space next to the number. So this now needs to be cut off. And let's glue this in, I guess. I have never done this, but I feel like my logic is good, so it should work. Hopefully somewhere here. Okay, and other side. Okay, this might be a bit big, but I feel like that's okay. The cover kind of makes it less visible and less prone to damage, I think, so that should be fine. Okay, and let's try and fit the other side of this tab. Yeah, that's done. Oh, and it matches with this page, which is awesome. Now, the title, I will put it slightly lower so there is not as much white space visible. And let's add this in just to have something dark on the bottom part of the page as well. And as you can see, there are 2 prompts for each month, so you can choose whichever you like to do. I will try my best to do the prompt the month it was assigned to, but I might not always do that. I have no idea how this will go, but I will do my best. And also, there is nothing wrong with skipping a month here and there and not finishing the full challenge. Okay, now this... I was just going to say bookshelf. Well, bakery shelf, I'd say. Roughly in the middle. Okay. And I want to have these guys somewhere here. Yeah, this is actually perfect, so I'll put them there. Oh, this is so adorable. This one is bigger, so we should find him space first. Maybe here. Yeah, I kind of like that, so it will go there. This... oh, that's so cute. There is a bit of glue seeping out, but that's fine. I have 3 more ghosties. Maybe I could have one somewhere here because these months are shorter. This might look nice in there. And maybe here, this one here. And I will be able to put this somewhere as well. Or in here. No. Or I could fill the page with these dumplings. I think that's a good strategy. So let's do that. And ghosty number 1, number 2, and number 3 somewhere here. Maybe if I did the black line art myself. Let's try and do that. I did not do the best job. Some of these lines are very shaky. But I feel like it matches so much better now. Where should we put these? Maybe here or here. But then I feel like there is too much already. Here. I like this best. Here, like this. Okay, that's adorable. Now let's try some of these dumplings. I feel like I should start with orange ones, since there is a lot of orange on the page. Well, these seem to be miscut or something, but the sticky part is working, so that's what's important. Okay, let's do here. Now I will do these. They are slightly green. That's interesting. Is there a green dumpling? Maybe what should be the filling? Only thing that comes to mind is spinach, and I don't think spinach dumpling is something I would like to try. Maybe peas or wasabi or something. I don't know. Let's just put a lot of this on the page. There is one in the packet, so I'd like to use this one as well. Maybe here, just under the title. This one. Okay, and that might be enough. I am so happy with this page. And it will look so much better with the book covers in here, but for now it is very orange, very brown, and as I said, I really like how it looks. With this done, let's work on another reading challenge, and in here I will put the Buzzword reading challenge. This one is made by Kyla, or Books and Lala on YouTube, and this year she used this very pink graphic. Because of that, I'm going to use a very pink title and lots of pink and floral stationery. I was thinking to maybe use this one at the bottom of the spread, and these flowers I might do something like a border out of them on top of the spread. There are quite a few of these pink flowers, but I would like to use blue ones as well. And this is a skinny floral tape by Marigona Sully. Maybe this will work better at the bottom of the page than this pink washi tape. I am not sure yet. First I will do this top border and then I will decide between these two. There is also a thicker version, so I will see which one will look best. And I was thinking to use maybe some of these as a background all over the page, because all of the prompts I have already printed here, so I will just put them on the paper. That means I can have some decoration here and there all over the spread. It might be an overkill, so we'll see. I am very excited about this floral frame, so let's start with that. I want to start with, maybe let's start with these pink flowers. I have already planned out where the book covers will go, so you might have see the pencil marks in here, so I was just looking how far I could put all of these flowers. This one next. I feel like I will just go and use these flowers just one after another based on how they are on the page, because they all seem to work together nicely, so maybe that's what I will do. Okay, let's put these in here, and again they can reach into the book cover section because I will glue the book covers on top of that, so that's totally fine. Okay, maybe this one should be next. Oh, I really like these flowers. They are so adorable. Okay, maybe I will not use these where there are very small flowers. I'd rather use some of these bigger ones. So I will skip some of these from the beginning, and I will later just put them in my reusable sticker album so that I won't have to keep this whole section that is, or that will be almost blank. And something in there is, and I will put some of these smaller flowers just to fill up the space. One in here, one there. This is so pretty. Here, and there is one with the stem, so I will use it here maybe. Yeah, but I will cut these stems off so they are not visible from behind the flower. Come on. Okay, and maybe I should use these flowers at the bottom of the page as well. Okay, that might look adorable. So the title will be like this, and I will use these the ones I did not want to use at the top of the page. They will be slightly different, but it will all be very similar. So pretty. I'm just going to use everything that is in there, just so I don't have some designs left on this end of the tape. This looks so pretty. Oh, maybe I could put this pink flower in here. Yeah, now this could go maybe in here in the middle, and I will do this envelope next, maybe here in the corner. And now let's do this big bunch of flowers, just so I will fill this space quicker, and then I will add some of these smaller flowers. One here, this maybe here, yeah, just to fill up that space. I really like these slightly gray flowers. I did not think I would like them so much, but they are maybe even my favorites. Okay, this looks so pretty. So we have one yellow flower left. Let's put that here, and the small pink one, it should maybe go here. So I have used everything. Oh, there is one pink one again here. And maybe let's do this one in here, just to make the frame around the whole spread. This was not the plan. I wanted to have just this top part decorated and the bottom section, but seeing this yellow flower in here, I feel like, yeah, the whole frame needed to be done. This blue flower here, just to make it complete. And I need to cut all of the bits away. It will look so much better after I do that. Let's glue the title in next. Oh, I already have glue everywhere. Reading challenge. Oh, I forgot to add these. So the Buzzword reading challenge as of last year has two versions. You can either try to fill the title prompts or cover prompts, and I will try to do both. Maybe like this should be okay, or maybe down here, maybe in the middle. Yeah, let's put those titles there. And I went through my bookshelf, so I will show you some of my picks for some of the prompts. I do not have everything figured out yet, but just a quick glance across my shelves helped me find some of the books for the prompts. I will mark the spaces for the book covers, just to make my life easier when I will be filling this in, and also so I know where to put the prompts later. Every book cover will be 5 by 8 boxes, and I have left 3 lines for the title. That should be plenty. Let's first add some of the prompts in here, and then I will see how much space there needs to be between the both rows. The prompts for the titles, all of these prompts are associated with a month, but as the last year, I am not going to be fulfilling them month by month, but whenever I fulfill any of these prompts, that's when I will consider that prompt done. But I will stick them in the order they are meant to be fulfilled. So the first one is before and after. I will have to cut this title, before and after. And I thought I had nothing on my shelf for this prompt, but I have found After the Forest by Cal Woods. This looks amazing, so I am very excited to read this book. I think I got it like 2 years ago in an Illumicrate subscription, so it is definitely time to read this one. Next we have Keyboard Keys, and I think Kyla said the apostrophes and stuff like that is okay, but she wishes we would find something better, something more unique. And I was not successful yet, so my kind of like lazy pick is Her Majesty's Royal Coven. So we have the apostrophe in here, so that might be a choice for this prompt. Also, that cover is violently pink. Next is this and that. I was just going to give up, but then I noticed this Vicious Grace on my shelf. I am so excited for this book, yet it's been years since I bought this and I never picked it up. Ordinal numbers, that's like first, third or something like that. I don't have anything for that on my shelves, but I'm sure I will be able to find something. Also, I do read mostly in audiobook form, and those books I do not have on my shelf. So I will have to keep in mind to look for a title with some ordinal numbers. Make, I did not find anything for make either. Then one word title. Also, Kyla is giving us in the video so many recommendations. So if you want to do this challenge and you have not watched that video yet, it will be linked in the description, as all of the videos announcing all of these challenges are. So you can just watch them and see what it's all about and decide if you want to join all of us as well. Okay, so for one word title, I will go with Fireborn. Again, this has been on so many of my TBRs, yet I have never picked it up. This has to be read this year. And now I can do marks for the second row. So let's do them here. And that means more of this decoration will be visible. We can continue with the title prompts, occupations. And I have kind of a different take on this, because the only book I found was the To Cage a God. So if we take being God is an occupation, then this would totally count. This is my first pick, but we'll see what I will read during the year. Next is groups and clubs. I have absolutely nothing for this, and I am curious to see what I will read for this prompt, because currently I have absolutely no idea. Next, me and my. I might argue that our counts as well. I will have to watch the announcement video again to see what Kyla says. This might be a good pick for that prompt. Also, it is extremely chunky, but I am very excited to read this book. As I am about all of these, that's why they are on my shelf. I just do not have enough time to read everything. Parts of a house. There is nothing I could find. I think this is meant to be like corridor, a room or something like that. Unless cages are a feature of a house, I don't think this should count. So I don't have a book for that prompt yet. Next is instructional title. And I could use the Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soul for that one, because that maybe sounds slightly instructional. Oh, I found another book for maybe a part of the house, and that's a shadow cabinet. Maybe cabinet, I feel like cabinets are part of every house, and if they are inbuilt, then maybe this could work. And it was so much fun to go through all of the books and figure out if I have something that would match. That is my favorite part of every challenge. Okay, and the last title prompt is superlatives, and I do not have anything for that one yet. Okay, now for the cover prompts. The first one is very interesting. It is the internal body part. So we have again these two books. So this is ribcage, of course, that's internal, and there is a skull, so that should work as well. And I will try to read a different book for all of these prompts, but I might double up for some of these. It all depends on how my year will go. Next is silhouette. That prompt maybe will make me finally read the second book in the, what's the series called? In the Darker Shade of Magic series. I'd like to continue that series this year. Next is action or movement on the cover. I really like this prompt. It is something new. I don't think we had a prompt like this at least not in readathons or reading challenges I was part of. For that one, I chose the spear cuts through water because these people are definitely moving. They are either battling or training or something. Yeah, that's my pick. Then accessories. Okay. That was so easy. I picked the Familiar by Libardugo because there is a ring, so I will go with that one. Next is border, and that can be literally anything. I am not sure if I have shown any books with borders yet, but this is another of RYEMIART books, and it has this cute little border, so this might be a way to go. Next we have wings, and for that I have the Justice of Kings because there are wings on this statue. Also this cover is absolutely beautiful. A metallic element on the cover, so that can be literally anything. I am sure I have shown quite a few of those already. It can be maybe sun and white with these gold elements. On this book there are, I am not sure you can see that, but there are some silvery flakes. Also the title is very shiny. Also this is very silver, but I also might go slightly out of the obvious way and maybe use Gathering of Shadows because there are daggers and they are metal. Next we have damage. So the book should look like it was damaged somehow, or the picture on it should look damaged. And for that I only found the obelisk gate because this feels like it's been there a while. You know, it feels rusted, it does not feel new. It feels very old and slightly damaged. There are some cracks. Also, I have just read the My Best Friend's Exorcism, and that book has kind of this damaged effect. Fire and smoke. I'm going with Call Down the Hog. This, it looks like a fire. Also, this is kind of metallic looking, so this should work. Also, the eye looks kind of like on a fire as well. Next prompt is doors, keys or locks on the cover. And I am choosing the Bone Shard Daughter because this looks like the top part of the key, but I am sure I will find maybe something better for that prompt during the year. Next is reflection. And as I said, I will have to watch the video again because I am not sure if this will work if we cut this in the middle, like these are opposites, so it may count as reflection, we'll see. Also, I am really dying to continue this series. And the last prompt for Buzzword reading challenge is music, and I have found nothing for that prompt yet. I feel like this will be maybe the most difficult prompt for me to fulfill. We'll see, but I predict this one will stay the last to be completed. Okay, so this is the Buzzword reading challenge, and there is one more. Yes, I'm still not done, and I'm sure this video is getting so long already, but I just want to have all of the challenges set up before I do my January reading wrap-up. So in here I do have, as you can probably tell by these pictures, this will be a Jellyfish reading challenge. This one is made by Susie over on Jellyfish Journals, and I just really like all of these prompts, so I decided, like, why not join. Also, she made these prompts as broad as possible, so people reading both fiction and non-fiction can join in, so that is really fun. As you can maybe tell from all of the markings, I have spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to fit everything on these pages because there are 15 prompts and I want to have here both the book cover and also all of these pictures because they are so fun. I literally spent like 2 hours trying to figure this out, but I think I have it covered. So let's start with the decoration. This is the title, and I am going with the obvious choice, this ocean PET tape. It is adorable. I want to use it both on top and bottom of the page, but first maybe I should mark all the spaces for the book covers, because some of those might get covered by this translucent part. One thing I don't like about this PT tape is that there is a lot of space above these waves. I get that there are some like water droplets and stuff like that, but it still feels like a lot. I will quickly mark all of this in, and let's put this tape on first. Oh yeah, as you can see, the markings are down here. They are slightly visible, so that's fine. And this time I will have the reading prompts next to the picture, so I can put a bit more of the decoration on both the top and bottom of the page. Maybe I should not go as far, because I will cut some of the page off. I could have maybe do that before I put the tape on, but I did not, so... Oh god, I have just noticed it is 8 p.m. and I have not cooked my lunch for work for tomorrow, which is fun. Okay, I just damaged this tape, look at this. I hope to finish this setup soon. I just want to have it done today. Okay. This tape is beautiful, but maybe the hollow coating made it a bit fragile. It has this weird texture. Also, this got unstuck as well. Well, I will maybe cover that with title, so that should be fine, or I might just unpeel that. I don't know. Or I will use glue and glue it down. This will dry transparent, so it should be okay. Next, I should go with the title, and I prepared this orange one and also this blue one, and I am thinking orange would be better, so then not everything is blue. The reading challenge part is comically small but I wanted to make sure that everything will fit on the page, especially because I will cut half of the page off, so I could not put the as big title as on the other challenges in here because of that. Okay, you know what? I will continue this tomorrow because I am getting very stressed and I need to cook that lunch. I will see you tomorrow, I guess. Okay guys, it has been a couple of days, so let's finally finish this setup. And I am going to start with randomly adding all of these jellyfish pictures on the page. I have written the name of all of these jellyfishes and the prompt in short, so it is easier for me to figure out what I should put in here. And this one is called Purple Striped Jellyfish, so I'm going to place it here. Now here I have all the titles of all the jellyfish, and here are all the prompts, so I hope I will be able to fit everything in. We will very shortly discover that. Purple striped jellyfish. And this I printed on clear sticker paper because I had slightly different idea of what I would do with this spread, but I think it should all work. I was not going to print all of this again when this is perfectly fine to use. And the prompt is book with a pattern on the cover, and I have absolutely no idea what to read for this prompt, but I am sure during the year I will find something that will match this prompt. And I went through my bookshelf once again to show you maybe some other books that might work for prompts on this challenge. And I was mostly successful, but as you can see, immediately for the first prompt, I have no idea what I'm going to read. But that's totally fine. The year has just started, so I am sure I will find something that will work. I'm just picking this at random, guys. So next is this one, and this is Japanese sea nettle. And for that one, I need to read a book set in Asia. I might cut these titles shorter. And for this, I have picked A Venom Dark and Sweet. That's the sequel to the Magic Steeped in Poison. I read that in, I guess, 2024, and I would really like to continue the series. And as you can see from this map, it is definitely set somewhere in Asia. Okay, next let's do this yellow one. This is egg yolk jellyfish. You can definitely tell why it is named like that. And the title is A Book with Food on the cover. And there is nothing on my immediate TBR or on my physical TBR with food on the cover. And believe me, I have just spent like 20 minutes looking through my bookshelf and I found nothing. But I am sure, as I said before, I am sure during the year I will read at least one book with some kind of food in the title or on the cover. So I am not really bothered with this prompt. Yeah, this washi tape or PET tape is not very good, I'd say. It is beautiful, but I have just peeled off whole hollow section. This is Portuguese Man o' War. Read a book outside of my comfort zone. And for that one, I do not have a physical book on my TBR, but I would really like to try We Used to Live Here. So that's my pick for this challenge for now. I don't like to cut in the middle of the word, but this seems to be looking okay, so that's really fortunate. Next, let's add this cute one. This is Lion's Mane, and the prompt is, of course, to read a book with animal on the cover or in the title. There are so many books, but I have chosen The Empire of the Vampire because there are some wolves in here and a horse as well and some birds. Oh, and I have just noticed a snake as well. There is a lot. Next, let's do this one. This is box jellyfish. Okay, why am I picking all of the prompts that I do not have books for yet? And for that one, we need to read a book with a box or a mail on the cover or in the title or a locked room story. There are many options for this one, and I have not found anything in my bookshelf for this, but there is a book, I think it's called The Measure, and I have seen quite a few people talk about it, but not that many. It is not that popular, but it seems to be very interesting. I think the story starts that everyone gets delivered a box with a string, and that string shows how long of your life is left. And it is really interesting, so I would really like to check that one out. First spread is done. Okay, this is getting unstuck already. Now I will cut this part of the page off. Okay, I should maybe use bigger scissors for that. Now let's round the corners. As you can see, I have already put the tape on this page as well and on all the other pages that I will use today. Next, let's have maybe this one, and that's a moon jellyfish. And the prompt is book with the night, moon or stars in the title or with those images on the cover. Once again, there are so many books that would fit this prompt, which is amazing because you can read basically anything for this challenge. My pick is The Starless Sea because there is a star in the title. There are no stars or moons on the cover unless we count these dots. And I have just noticed there are keys, so that would work for some of the previous prompts. Next is this one. That's Flame Jellyfish. Let's put the title in here. And the prompt is book with fire on the cover or in the title, book with red cover or something spicy. Once again, so many options. And I went with the Thieves Gambit because it is pretty red. Also the edges are very red. And also my edition of 1984 is red and black. So these two will definitely count. And once again, all of these examples are only books I do own, books that are on my bookshelves, and I would love to read them soon. So these are my two picks. Next is this purple one, and that's Mauve Stinger. I don't know how to pronounce that, but this is how it is written. And the prompt is book with a weapon on the cover or in the title. So basically 90% of fantasy books and also fantasy romance books. I feel like they all have some kind of weapon on the cover. My pick is These Violent Delights. I bought this book when I got very excited about reading again, and I was trying to figure out what I like in my books. Now I do think that I will not like this book, but since I own it, I would definitely give it a try. Now I need to cut the page once again and around the corners. And we have 6 more prompts to add in here. Let's go with this one. This is Flower Hat Jellyfish. I really like that title. And that one is for book with plants on the cover or in the title. I really did not think this through, guys. I really did not think that I would need to cut all of these in half, but there's nothing I can do about that now. Okay, so book with plants on the cover or in the title. There are again so many books that would be perfect for this prompt, and I'm going with the perfume. I have read this 6 or 7 years ago, and there are times I keep thinking about this book, so I think it is time for a reread. Next, there is a crystal jellyfish, and for that one we need to read a book with fragile vibe, so with elements of glass or some breakable things or some clear things. And again, I don't know what I will read for this prompt. Next, let's do Mediterranean jellyfish. So yellow and so pretty. And the prompt is book with water on the cover or in the title. And I'm going with this beautiful edition of Dark and Drowning Tide. Based on the title, I would guess they are in the water, and there are some fishes and corals and bubbles around them. So I would say they are in the water. Also, the original cover also has water in it because they are kind of like half submerged in water. Next, let's do upside down jellyfish. And for that, as you can guess, we need to read a book with something upside down on the cover or a book with the plot twist. You don't really know if there will be a plot twist in the book, so that's kind of a wild card. When I looked at the books I own, I found the Battle Royale, and you can see this guy. I think we can say he is upside down. I don't know, what do you think? Now let's do a crown jellyfish. It is very purple. The prompt is a book about royalty or treasure. I really like this prompt. It can work with non-fiction. You can read some memoir, or there are so many books with prince or queen or something like that in the title. My pick is Witch King, so we have the king in the title. Okay guys, and the last jellyfish, we made it to the end. The last one is Immortal Jellyfish. How fitting. How fitting. The prompt is book with life or death in the title. I did not think it would take me so long to find a book for this prompt, but I eventually found Dead Poets Society. I was meant to read this last year and I never get around to that, so hopefully this year. It is pretty short, so there are high hopes I will get to this book. Okay guys, and just like that, I have shown you basically every single book I own and I have not read yet. That was pretty fun. And now I want to go through this PT tape that's from the same set as this one, and maybe we can put some decoration here and there. I have already cut around some of these because these are not pre-cut, so that is making my life easier right now. I'd love to put this somewhere on the page, maybe even here. There will be the book cover. Some of these designs, I am not really sure why they are in the kind of marine themed washi tape or PT tape, like this one or even this one. I do like those, so it is not that big of a problem, but I don't really know why that was a choice. Okay, let's put that in there maybe. And we can't forget to put these jellyfishes there and starfish there. And we have another one here. Oh, I really like this there. Okay, and that's everything. Oh, this got unstuck again. I will have to figure something out because this is ridiculous. You know what, guys? I will put clear tape over that. If that does not work, I have no idea what will. Just like that. This is everything for the Jellyfish reading challenge and for all of the challenges I have set up today. So let's once again quickly look through what everything I have set up. This is the Discworld reading challenge. I again really enjoy how these pages turned out, mostly because of these illustrations, of course. Now here are reading challenges for 2026, and that is a Year of Goober. Buzzword reading challenge, both for titles and covers, and the Jellyfish reading challenge. I am so happy to have all of these set up and I hope you had a good time watching me work on these pages and that you are as excited about all of these challenges. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have absolutely a lovely day and I will see you in the next one. Bye.